Howdy, howdy, and welcome to My Bloody Judy with your final forgets, myself, Zachary Patton Garcia.
And Ian Carlos Crawford. Zach, what is our headline here?
Listen, Sidney Prescott is not coming back for Scream 6. Neve Campbell has confirmed that. There was a lot of news. So we just covered like an update or a Scream 6 news video, right? And kind of talked about the casting updates, and we were fairly certain. This is what bit us in the ass right here, right? That we were fairly certain that Gail and Sidney were going to be coming back, right? But we did a lot of conversations about. We have conversations about this all the time. About we're okay if Sidney sits out, right? We're okay if she sits out, but we would, and if she came back, we would love it. So a couple days ago, there was news coming out of the Monsterpalooza convention that Sidney had told a fan that she was doing a meet and greet with that she wasn't going to be coming. So sorry. That's why her ass doesn't want to come back.
Seriously.
Neve told a fan that she wasn't going to be participating in Scream 6. And the initial thing that I heard was it was something about the script that she didn't like, and that's why she didn't want to come back. And so that kind of lingered around the internet for a little bit, and people kind of talked about that. But it was recently confirmed. Was it yesterday? Was that the news? Yeah, that she put out a statement. It was through Variety, Neve's official statement. Sadly, I won't be making the next Scream film. As a woman, I have had to work extremely hard in my career to establish my value, especially when it comes to Scream. I felt that the offer presented to me did not equate to the value I have brought to the franchise. It's been a very difficult decision to move on. To all my Scream fans, I love you. You've always been so incredibly supportive to me. I'm forever grateful to you and to what this franchise has given me over the past 25 years.
The thing is, we did, and people were mad at us in the comments, we did say that we thought it would be okay to have a movie without Sidney. I'm perfect. I saw so many tweets saying no Scream without Neve. I will never watch it. And I don't feel that way.
We're not on there. We're not on that boat.
But I mean, when I know we both agree on this, it's still that part is okay, but it's shitty that they wouldn't pay her. So we keep still hearing conflicting things over whether she has a small role. Then there's that interview with Jamie Kennedy where he says that she did have a hefty role in Scream 6. And that he said he even goes on to say it's not the producers, it's these people that don't give a shit that are the higher up corporate people.
Oh, of course. Yeah. That's exactly, so this is exactly what happened. This is why it pisses me off, right? Because the story is fine without Sidney. I think it's okay. We do get shit about this for saying Sidney doesn't have to be in it. But really, give her character a little bit of peace. Give her a couple years away with her girls, with her husband. Let her live her happy life. Sidney deserves that, right?
She deserves 10 years of not being stabbed.
But that's not why Neve is not coming back, right? There's some sort of payment dispute going on. Danielle Harris played Jamie Lloyd in Halloween 4 and 5, and it was a really big deal when she did not come back for 6. She was in talks with the studio. She found out that she wasn't even being considered for that role when her casting agent or her agent sent her a casting call that they were recasting her role, and she got in touch with them and she was like, "Hey, no, I want to do this. This is my role. I want to play Jamie. I will get emancipated," because she wasn't 18 yet. She said, "I'll get emancipated." And she went and spent $5,000 to get emancipated, and the studio didn't want it. She just wanted to make enough money to make that money back and then also secure that role, and they didn't want to pay her that. So somebody who doesn't understand the franchise, didn't understand the fans' love for this character, and Danielle Harris, her value to the reason those two movies had any sort of success and that the franchise had come back because people fell in love with Danielle Harris. But somebody somebody running finance doesn't understand that, right? So they didn't give her the role because she didn't accept the role because they wanted to pay her scale, which was way less than what she spent to get emancipated. That is what I'm seeing here, or that's what it's sounding like, right? Is that somebody in a finance department who probably loves the rom-coms, right? Loves a Rachel McAdams, Channing Tatum movie, hates horror movies, is telling Neve Campbell that, no, this is what we're going to give you, right? Because somebody has to be in charge of budget, and they're divvying up what people are getting paid. And if that is the truth there, and that they are lowballing her, then fucking bullshit. And I'm over it. I'm tired of it. I'm pissed.
I mean, we'll still see the movie, but yes.
Yes, I'm still going to go watch the movie. It's a lot of different facets to this. I think it's a huge mistake, and it could impact box office dollars if you think about it.
Yeah.
By disrespecting our horror icons, and Sidney Prescott is a horror icon.
And like, let's be real, that's when horror franchises take their dip, when they start like being like, like that's one of the worst Halloweens, right?
Yeah.
With that other woman playing her character. Like, I don't understand how even a higher up who doesn't care about the movie wouldn't be like, oh, any franchise where we just completely get rid of our main actor, that's always when it like goes to shit, right?
Yeah.
I still do have confidence in these, like the team and like everything, but like I don't want to see the Scream franchise go the way of like Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that would be a bummer because, like, you know, even you and I with our different Scream rankings, we still kind of feel like they're all pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
And I don't, like I said, I still like have faith in this team. It's just like, I don't want them to start going down or them to be like, oh, Sidney died yesterday. Like, at the start
oh my gosh, if they kill her off screen and she just like died in a car accident, like they could do that, right? In Halloween 4, they did. They had, Laurie Strode has a little article that Jamie's reading. It said Laurie Strode dies in a car accident. I'm like, fuck you guys, fuck off, fuck
did
off.
They do that with the I Know What You Did Last Summer, like direct sequels?
Yes, it's like a quick, like they don't even focus in on it, and it's like Julie James died and Ray died somehow. It's fucking stupid shit like that. I don't think something like that's gonna happen. I think that radio silence, because there are still creatives who are doing the script, who are doing, you know, the story, and I don't think they would do something like that. I do have trust in them. I think we got to remember that radio silence, these people making the movie, the creatives of this movie, are not having a hand of what Sidney is getting or what Neve is getting paid. That's so remember that, because there's a lot of hate being thrown at the filmmakers right now.
And like, that must be so frustrating for them, because I'm sure they're fucking annoyed that she got lowballed, and then annoyed that fans are gonna like be like sending them hate. Like, that's stupid.
The two commonalities that I've read, because oh my god, there's so many conflicting like reports out there. There's one that her role was really big and integral to the story, right? And then there was one that it was just one scene, but it was really big scene that would set up 7. However, that goes.
I feel like you and I would love that.
I would be okay with that. Yeah. However that goes, they still have to like work around that now, right? Like they're filming right now. Right. They have to like, it's never a good sign when you're having to do rush rewrites during production. Yeah. You don't want that. So like, this is not them saying, oh, well, Neve Campbell wants too much money, we're not going to do it. Radio silence power. You know, they're not doing that. This has probably fucked them over a little bit, and they're probably stressing quite a bit.
Right. Yeah.
I would have to imagine. There was a tweet from somebody who says, and I think they just their source was Scream Thrillology or Thrillogy, and I went to that and I still couldn't find it. So take this with a grain of salt. That Neve Campbell was getting paid like under $2 million for a 4-day shoot. That's a lot of money, you know, but we don't know that. And that's also not confirmed as well. It's like we have all of these conflicting things that are not being confirmed. But what Neve said herself is that she didn't feel like she was being valued, especially for the work she has contributed to Scream. And
which is fair.
Yes. And that she just won't be returning to 6. That's all she gave us. That's all we have to go off of, because nobody else is saying anything, right?
So my hope is, because I feel like you and I, that's like what we said in our Dream episode. Like, okay, she has a bit, I would love it if she had like just this tiny role. My hope is that like that could still happen, right? Yeah. If they like, I think that this, because I did see someone say like, why hasn't Paramount or anyone released an official statement other than Neve? And someone told me they think that's like her tactic to be like, oh, motherfuckers. Yeah. So I'm hoping like if it was a bigger part, then they're probably shit out of luck because they have to do rewrites right now. Mm-hmm. But if it was a smaller role, I mean, even with us filming this, we could be like, great, let's film, at the end of the month, something that's coming out next month. Okay. So they could still maybe negotiate with her and get her to film for those 4 days. Yeah. And that would be perfect. Like that isn't crazy. That like,
I don't think it is. And I think you're absolutely right that was her tactic to put this out. And not only that, but there's no way in hell that she was telling fans anything at a horror convention not having spoken to team members first,
Yeah.
not having, like, they knew that somebody was going to ask her about Scream 6 and be like, are you going to be in Scream 6? Is that confirmed? And she had to have a ready-made answer, right? She was sitting through that
She's
whole
been around
convention
too long for that,
with a ready-made answer. So, like, this was absolutely a tactic, and I think this whole strategy has been a tactic to kind of get it out first, get the rumors flooding, get people on fire, and get people angry about what is happening. The Scream fandom is very split right now. We're all split in different directions. I think I can speak for the both of us, is that we kind of wanted her to sit a movie or two out, right? We wanted her to have a little bit of peace, go away for a little bit, come back. We never wanted her gone forever, right? Just a tiny bit. But we also have full faith in the vision of these filmmakers, and if they wanted her in this one, and if they wrote her into this one, we are supporting it. We will be so excited to see Neve Campbell come back, right? However this wanted to play. Now, there are fans who were like, I will never watch a Scream movie without Neve Campbell in it, right? Which is very extreme. My ass will be sitting in there watching Scream 6, unless they kill her off camera and we just get like a note saying, like Gail opens the letter and it says, Sidney has died. Please come to the funeral. Then I will be on 1, 2, 3 movies for every movie afterwards, right? And I will just never give them my money again. There's a lot of fans getting really extreme with it. Like, oh, well, we're never going to watch it. We're not going to watch 6. And then there's the fans who are like, and I can tell that they're the younger ones who didn't go through life with Sidney Prescott, who are saying their initial responses were, so what? Who cares? Joe Behar. So what? Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. Anyway, I'll be watching Scream 6. I think the larger majority just wants to see her respected and valued in this franchise, as she has been the face of this franchise. And we are all, most of us two.
Yeah.
We're okay with her not being in it. However, we want her to be valued. If she's not in it because she's not being valued, then that's not okay with us.
That's bad. Yeah. Yeah. And like, I was even talking about it with a friend, Mike Patterson. And he was like, I'm wondering if like Courtney Cox just likes doing them and she has friends money. So she's like,
oh, she got friends money. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I hadn't thought about that. Cause I was like, why would they offer her? And then I was like, oh, she does have friends money. So she's like, whatever.
She's like, that's a nice, I'll go buy a Birkin.
Yeah.
That's Birkin money. Do you think that Courtney Cox's role was the same scale as Neve Campbell's then?
I'm wondering, right?
And it could have been like a together role.
Because I always
set up the sequel.
I feel like, and we've said this a lot, but like, and you say this all the time, and I agree with you that like Gail makes more sense with putting herself into like,
yeah,
and like that is her character, right? Like she's not being stalked by Ghostface in any of these, and like she kind of just like the people that are being stalked, she's like, let's do this shit, and she like inserts herself, which is, we love Gail, that's fine, that's not a critique. So like, I still keep thinking of that, how you always say that. And I'm like, yeah, it does make more sense if she like, okay, she like, meets up with Kirby or something. And she's like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was wondering that too. Like,
because it's opening up all of these questions. And now like what's happening that's really kind of frustrating me is like, we're getting too many. And like, again, these are fucking people on the internet that you don't fucking know if they're talking truth, right? We're not really getting statements from the people involved. And so we're just getting a bunch of like hearsay, but it still like gives me a little bit of anxiety because if this hearsay turns out to be true, we're getting a lot of spoilers. Like, oh, she was supposed to be setting up the sequel. She was like an ending scene that she was good. I don't want to know stuff like that. I just like, I don't want to be spoiled.
Well, and then inversely, I'm like, I wonder if it's some kind of like, okay, if she like, I've seen a couple of those like, oh, she was just supposed to pop up at the end. Well, maybe that is the case. And like, maybe that's like, they don't want to confirm her because that's going to be a surprise. And I would kind of like that. Mm-hmm. It's just annoying that we would have to go through like a year of this and then be like, oh no, that was just to keep it a surprise. Like,
I don't think that's what's happening. I don't think that's what's happening. I think her and her team are absolutely putting it out there to get something. I don't think the door is completely closed for her. And I think she knows that. But Courtney Cox, by the way, is making sure everybody knows she's in the fucking movie. She's like, yep, no, I'm here. Guys, guys, I'm good. I'm a friend's money.
This is
We're good.
this is why I relate more to Gail, because that's me versus Zach. That Zach being like, no, I'm not doing that. Me being like, you want me? I got it.
Neve Campbell's her statement just made me so sad though, because it doesn't even sound like it's I'm sitting 6 out.
Yeah.
Because I think all of us Scream fans, the one commonality we do have is that we're kind of thinking bigger picture now, and that we know future sequels are coming too. So we're thinking, what is the overall story, right? But she's talking with so much finality that, like, she says, to all my Scream fans, I love you. You've been so incredibly supportive to me. I'm forever grateful to you and what this franchise has given me over the past 25 years. That sounds final. That sounds like she's not coming back ever again, and Sidney Prescott is gone. And I know that's not true. I know it's not true, but it makes me so sad to read it like that.
See, I feel like it's her being like, I love my fans. Right now, I'm not coming back. I think it's like, I feel like the wording is very, I mean, duh, it's on purpose. It's a fucking PR statement. But like the words she's using can make it sound final, but are not final. And that's like for sure on purpose.
I don't like all the chatter going on around it. And I feel like we're the only ones who should ever be able to talk about it. But that's how all Scream fans feel, right? It's like every Scream fan in like talking about this right now wants every other Scream fan to shut the fuck up and not say anything about it. Yeah. It's giving us all anxiety. We're all to hear. We're all at 100 right now. And I get it.
Okay, so like there's like, I know you're not that into Marvel, but like this is how the Marvel fans are with every fucking
Cannot do it. No, I'm just here
and
for Wanda.
I'm like,
that's it.
It like makes me nuts. And I'm like, and that's when I get a little bit of that nerd where I'm like, I've been reading comics since I was 10 years old.
I know. I'm like, I know Sidney Prescott better than anybody.
They made fun of the fans within the movie, and then the fans did exactly.
The fans are showing their asses right now. We are all falling into the Scream 5 plot ourselves.
I saw so many tweets that were like, Neve Campbell should have said this for Scream 5. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but we all do that, right? We all play into it. There's not a damn one of us who is not interjecting as if like we know all and we are the supreme authority on this franchise, right? We are all doing it. I think where the problem starts to come in is that it's now the toxicity is now being spread onto like the young actors, right? Like the young actors are getting hate because they're like, well, if she's not being paid right, everybody needs to boycott this movie. Everybody needs to quit this movie. It's like, you really gonna tell Jasmine Savoy Brown to quit the Scream 6 movie? You're gonna tell Jenna Ortega to quit the Scream 6 movie?
Right.
No, fuck off, man. That's not happening.
And that's not how that shit works. Like, it's just not.
No, none of these people are working in finance. They are not the finance bitch who lowballed Neve Campbell, you know? And they are here to work. They're here to they all want that sort of longevity that these characters gave these actors, right? They all want that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Filmmakers getting hate, they're getting hate. You're having different statements come out from Scream actors. You know, David Arquette came out with one. He had to come out with two, by the way. He came out with one, and he basically said, yeah, I think, you know, Sidney's a big part of this franchise, and it's going to be weird not having Sidney in a Scream movie. But I get that there's budgets that have to be maneuvered around. He was really like being like, I get it, but I get it, you know. And then he had to come out with a story today and say, just so everybody's clear, I think it's a mistake not having Sidney in a Scream movie, right? Because I think people were starting to give him hate.
And it's just so annoying.
Like, yeah, there could be hate spewing onto all of the former Scream actors now, right? Like, Skeet Ulrich's DMs are probably like, "Hey, Daddy, fuck me in the ass." Also, support Neve Campbell, or we hate you.
Isn't that what your DMs are like?
Support Neve Campbell, or we hate you. It's the same thing. And so Jamie Kennedy put out a statement, and I wonder what his DMs were looking like, right? What did Jamie Kennedy say?
He said that it was like he said she had a hefty role and that like he knows who it is. It's these stupid higher ups. And he kind of said the like, don't harass the like people behind the team. They wanted her. Like, it's not them.
Yeah. There is a change.org petition going around that is like, hire Neve Campbell back, get all these signatures, and the signatures are going up. But what I kind of worry about is that maybe Neve and her team put out this statement as a strategy, and I'm hoping it pays off for her if that's the case, and she really just doesn't feel valued. I hope that this pays off for her, but I think this Scream fandom is so split down the middle that there's a huge portion that is okay with her not coming back, right? And so they're not really going to fight for her to come back. And then there's, you know, the ones who will
I haven't seen any of that. I've only seen people saying like, I will never watch Scream again.
Oh, I see so many that are just like, it's okay. She doesn't need to come back, right? I see a lot of, she doesn't need to come back, but she should be paid what she's worth. But then there'll be these long paragraphs explaining why Sidney doesn't fit into the story anymore and how they just need to retire the character. I'm seeing tons of that.
Rewarding toxic fans was the worst thing anyone could have ever done for fandom, because now fans are constantly like, well, if we're fucking annoying enough about it, we'll get what we want. And that is a terrible lesson to learn.
I think it's just like super confusing all the way around, right? It's because like we want to support Neve Campbell, and I will totally support Neve Campbell. She's done so much for me in my own personal life. She doesn't fucking know me. She doesn't, you know.
She knows us. She's
never gonna buy me the McDonald's. Oh, she does know us. We are friends. We are friends, actually.
Look at that picture right behind you.
But, like, really, you know, she's got her own fucking life. She doesn't fucking give a shit about us. But, like, you know, that character has still done so much for me and for you that, of course, I want to fight for her if this is what's happening, right? It's just a little confusing because I don't know what the truth is, right? I don't know where. It's just we got to kind of navigate through all of that and navigate through all of the toxic Scream fans who are putting out misinformation left and right.
We're going to comment to tell us that we're not real fans.
Yeah. So I think right now where I kind of stand with it is like the only real statement that's been put out has been Neve Campbell's. So I'm on board with her.
Yeah.
I support that. She's not necessary to the story at this point. Sorry, toxic Scream fans.
Which isn't a dig.
It's not a dig. But I am 100% supporting her in that she needs to be valued for this franchise exactly like she thinks she needs to be valued, right? Like, even there are fucking ways to pay her, right? There are back end points. There are, you know, why is Neve Campbell not a producer on these movies yet? I think that's a conversation we need to have real quick. Why are Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell not producers on this movie?
But again, I can see with Courtney Cox, her being like, "No, I don't care."
She probably don't give a shit. I don't know, producer what?
Like, no, I don't want to. No, thank you.
But like these are actors who played these characters for so long, and David Arquette included, right? And that they should have significant say in what happens to those characters and what happens to their specific stories, right? And I feel like producer, executive producer, whatever have you, is a way to kind of do that. And it's weird that hasn't happened, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, I don't know quite how that works with back end behind the scenes, but yeah, it would make sense.
There are a bunch of different terms. I don't know how they work either, but I know that they gather money, and there is money around to pay her if they're not paying her what they need to pay her. A big takeaway from this is that it's going to play out exactly like it's going to play out. If it's too hard for you to go and see Scream 6 with Sidney Prescott not being there, fine. Whatever. And nobody can tell you that that's wrong and that you can't feel that way and that if that's not the experience you want, that's not the experience you want. Now, if people go see Scream 6 and she isn't in it and she wasn't paid because she wasn't paid what she wanted to be paid, don't hate on fucking Scream fans for wanting to go see Scream 6, right? Like, just
relax.
Let each other have your piece, say your point, you know? Don't be dicks to each other. Don't be assholes.
Every time we're like, you're talking about like, everyone don't be mean. I'm like, oh, I'm just imagining 85 mean comments.
Ooh, it's like, but I deserve to be mean because my opinion is correct, right?
Are you kidding?
I deserve it.
I don't even remember what the person's name was, but we did our live stream about the new Scream, the live watch, and that one person just kept saying, they're never bringing back Hayden Panettiere. I wish I had their email or their like Twitter so I could DM them and be like, remember when you were really annoying in our chat and you refused to even stop saying there's no way she would come back? And now she is, motherfucker.
Look at it, bitch. Look at it. Look at it. Hayden Panettiere returning after years-long hiatus.
So I deal really well with troll.
There you go. I don't know. Yeah,
Go to
just
their
kind
house.
of like respect each other, respect each other's opinions. There is no right opinion on this, right?
Right, it's fine,
Everybody
like-
trust the filmmakers and what they're doing. Kind of send them good vibes because they're fucking spiraling right now.
I'm
and
sure,
don't
yeah.
send these creatives any hate. Send the bitch and finance the hate. Go to her, okay? Go to her. Send it to Paramount, okay? We don't give a fuck about a logo, you know?
Right.
Be kind. That's all we have to do. You know, we're all horror fans. We're all in this together.
Oh, look at you. Sometimes I like when we switch and Zach is more lovey-dovey and I'm more like, I'm like, fuck these trolls. I want to fight them. I want to go.
Because I know. Ian, calm down. Oh my gosh. I am absolutely Sidney Prescott, and he's absolutely the Gale Weathers. If we have to pick one out of our duo.
But it's weird because I feel like when it comes to like emotion, I'm more Sidney and you're more Gale. But in general, I'm more Gale and you're more
I don't think
Sidney.
Sydney's super emotional. I don't think she is.
No,
we
but
don't see a lot of her personal life anymore.
But she worked a crisis hotline, and to do that, you have to be able to like be very good
she was like 20 years old, Ian. Okay, she's.
Right,
I don't think
still,
she's like that. I think she's lost a little bit of her emotional layers. This is the conversation that's gonna get us in the hot seat. Okay, we gotta stop now. What do you think about this Scream 6 news? That Sidney Prescott is not gonna be coming back to the movie. Do you think that this is her statement? Was a strategic one, and that she will get what she wants, or do you think it's something that's gonna be a little bit fruitless? Let us know.
Hope she gets what she wants.
All right, we'll see you guys later.